Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Manor Lords. Now, last time we did make a nice bit of ground. We took 2 more lands off the enemy, meaning they've only got 3 left before we have complete dominance of this region, and that's what I intend to do today. But to do that, we're going to need to build a little bit more influence, which we're currently doing from Tithe in Eichenau, which is where we are right now. Things are going really well here, and Zweiau is starting to get a little bit more population moving in. So with that in mind, I think it's time to move into Waldbrand. Now, there's a couple of things we need to address before we do that, so let's dive on in. So the first thing we need to do is get rid of these bandits that have set up camp over here. And to do that, I'm just going to grab my entire army, we're going to assemble them all, and we are going to have them rally just on the edge of town here. Once that's done, we can get ready to move in, clear out these bandits, and then start building in Waldbrand. Now my first task is actually going to be to remove this forest as best we can. Now I know there are berries there, so we're just going to have to kind of make do and manage around that, and I also want to try and get rid of a little bit of forestry over here. The main reason being I want to set up a load of houses along this King's Road here with a marketplace in between somewhere. And that's because I want this to be a really nice built up town. So it's got to have like this central district where there are houses that won't have any backyards, but they'll be kind of providing the workforce for all of the other jobs that we have in the town. Then on the outskirts, I'm going to have some smaller settlement areas that have like the vegetable patches, the goats and stuff, and it's kind of going to have this like surrounded feel where we have like the little farms and stuff and the little homesteads on the outskirts feeding into this larger built up suburban area, and the manor is actually going to go around about where that bandit camp is. So our army should be assembling right now. Yeah, it's on its way, and we're going to move immediately into Waldbrand. I do have enough money in my treasury to actually pay for this, but we've got to be aware that the annual royal tax is now pretty high. So that's something we just need to be very careful of. And then I'm going to have my army continue on, but we're going to go just over to this area here so we're not in the trees. Just have them slowly move on over. I'm going to speed things up while we're waiting for this to happen. And then we'll have them kind of assemble facing in this direction. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow things down. We're going to have our archers kind of form a line here. They are going to be firing up the hill, which is not ideal. But we're then going to have a full row stretching out pretty far. We'll just have it the same. Then we will have our spear militia form a thicker wall here. And here. We're then going to hide our polearm in the trees over here, and they can charge in if they get close enough to us, that is. These archers, we're just going to have them line up a little bit more appropriately right in front of the other archers, behind them, sorry. Our spear militia should be okay there, and then we're going to have our swordsmen kind of run up and poke them. So the polearm I'm actually going to move over to here. We'll have them coming in facing that direction, ready to charge in. And then our swordsmen will kind of move out and try and bring the bandits out of their camp, if they are actually in it. They don't appear to be moving. They're not coming out. They may have already been wiped out and the camp is just there. I think this might be a very quick take for us. No bandits coming. I think our swordsmen are just going to make short work of this. Yeah, they just dismantle the camp and that's it. Oh, well. That was a lot of nothing, wasn't it? Right, okay. We'll have our army return home and disband. And I will take that into my treasury, actually. It's not much, but it's something. And then what I can do is I can just go into my build and we will we'll immediately build a settlers camp. I'm going to put my settlers camp here because it's close to that food source. So we'll have that confirm. And now we have settlers in Waldbrand. So we can actually start building a new village yet again, which is really, really good. So we obviously have the homeless tents that we need to deal with. And we're also going to need to get a logging camp up and running pretty quickly. So let's start off with our logging camp, and you can see where that area is that I don't want to go into. So what I'll do is I will put the logging camp, we'll keep it on the main road for now, but it will get moved eventually. And then we will get a hunter's lodge just on the edge here. In fact, I wonder if I can build a road that just kind of circles. Yeah, I can. So we'll just have this road circle around the area where the wild animals are. And it kind of, it's not, you know, it doesn't look conventional, but it doesn't matter for now. I was thinking about driving the wild animals into another area of the forest, but that can be a little bit janky. They do kind of just go wherever they want. So I'm just going to circle them as best I can with a road. And now I know I can kind of like keep an eye on how that's going to go. And then we'll start by bringing off a short road down to here. Ooh. Kind of where the logging camp is, actually, so that's nice. The logging camp just runs alongside it. Cool. Right, we've got that little area cordoned off. We can build our hunter's lodge now. And for here in Waldbrand, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go with trapping to get a passive income of meat, and then probably advanced skinning. So you can see we're starting to like really utilize the bonuses that we have in here. And that should give us a lot more meat. I'm not going to go with pelt extraction. We don't actually need that. But the trapping, where we get like passive income of meat, will be really useful. I don't know if the fact that this is a abundant area will increase the amount of meat that we get, but it's worth kind of thinking about. The next step is probably going to be to have a look at the land fertility. So Emma, we're not great on that. We're probably not great on flax or barley or rye. We get a bit of rye down there, but it's not worth investing in. So we'll take trapping, we'll take advanced skinning, we'll probably take beekeeping here as well. Maybe we'll take orchardry, so that's 4 food sources we're still going to be able to produce. And then I guess maybe we go into... I mean, we could take charcoal burning, which will probably help. But I do kind of want the advanced trading sort of stuff as well. So we'll probably do forest management. No, not forest management. We'll do trapping, advanced skinning, orchardry. We'll leave beekeeping. We'll take charcoal burning. That's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll take the 2 trade logistics and better deals. That's probably going to be the best way for us to go when we get settled here. Then I'm going to build, I've got my logging camp built already. We are building the hunting camp. And that should do us for now, so we can get our first houses up and running. I then kind of want to plot out immediately where I'm going to have my marketplace. So what I think is going to be the best thing to do is to have the market, because this is King's Road and we can't get rid of it. If I can, let's have a look at the underground water. We've got a nice little water source there. So could I potentially fit the well in here? Doesn't look like I can. Yeah, it's just not there, which is a shame. So we'll put our well kind of here, which is where that hitching post is going to be. Or we'll put it across the road there. Yeah, we'll put it there. Then I want to have a think about where I'm going to be putting my trading stuff. So we want a trading post here, obviously, which means I could probably get away with having my trading post here. Or here. Actually, here's a good one. I'll put the trading post there, and then we'll just pause the building so that nobody goes and starts building that. Then we're going to need... What else can we put in here? A tavern. Let's think about where the tavern's going to go. So the tavern can probably go next to the trading post, actually. I think that might be a decent place for it. So we'll put that in, and then again we'll pause the building of that. So that should stop resources being sent to it. Then the church, I think, needs to have a bit of a dominant position. So obviously when people come in, I've got a road coming here from Eichenhau that I'm going to extend to kind of join up with this curved road. And then that kind of creates an extra district there. Then let's have a quick look. We've got another road that comes in there from Eichenau, and then we've got a nice road that comes in from Zweiau and cuts into the region, which is pretty good. Now, our church, I'd quite like to have a bit more of a dominant position. Obviously, I want to save this for my manor, and I'd quite like to build a fairly sizable manor that kind of loops around and kind of ends there. So this is pretty much off limits. Obviously, the manor in Eichenau didn't work out so well. There seemed to be some sort of bug with it, so I'm very wary that once I put my manor down, that has to be it. So next, we're going to have a look, where can this church go? So the church, I do want it to have a bit of a dominant position, like I said, on the landscape, so that it becomes this kind of beacon. Maybe up here is probably going to be a good location for it. So with that in mind, once our Forester's Lodge is built, we're going to start deforesting this entire area here. I'm not worried about like the lack of wood. We're going to try and maintain the forests in this area. So the first kind of step, actually, before I start eliminating all of the trees here, is to get rid of that. Then I'll have like a good area of where I think these wild animals are going to stay. Hopefully they'll stay in that district that I've marked out. If they do move, they'll probably move further into the forest. But if we clear all of these trees out, we at least get something that we can develop. Then my marketplace then is probably going to have to go in here. And what I want to do is I like this road here to kind of curve. Kind of come in and loop around like that. Obviously that's not the best loop, so we'll just have a quick shimmy to there and build that, and then I kind of want it to match. So if I can just grab here and just pull a line all the way down to there, I'll delete that road eventually, and then we'll just have it curve. That's not too bad. Then we'll get rid of this road. Yep. And then this entire space here will be filled with the market, I think. Although we'll put a little road that comes down here. And I could maybe fill that with some trees when I get a forester in. So this space is going to be my market. So we can put it all the way down here. And then all the way along here. And that gives us 111 market stall locations. But you can see it doesn't actually need to take up that much space. So we'll come down to here, and then I can even put some houses in that area that's been kind of left by it. So let's do that. That works. We'll get this in, pull this all the way along. We only get 84. It's less than the original idea was, but that now gives us a space where we can put in our first houses. And like I said, I do want these houses to not have any backyard space, so that's fine. These guys are just going to be my main kind of workforce. So, you know, laborers and people who are moving goods around the actual village. So we'll pull this all the way up to here and see what we get. It is giving us garden spaces, so we might be able to just make some adjustments here. We could potentially have houses kind of to here. It's still trying to fill in that. We don't have enough goods, obviously, so we're going to have to wait for some trees to be chopped down. So we'll move the army back in, and then once that's all sorted, we can disband them. Just get them into the town. Come on, get moving, guys. There we go. Disband and disband. Great. So we're letting things speed up a little bit while we get our logging camp in. That is now done. We'll make sure that the work area is limited to this forest here. So they should cut down those trees, and we'll also assign someone to work in it. The next thing we need to do is get a hunter up and running. We'll leave the hunting limit at 10 because this is a fairly abundant area, so we should start getting in some food immediately. We also actually need to get a granary. Royal tax has increased, I'm not surprised. Now our granary is going to go right next to our trading post. In fact, can we fit the granary in here? No. That would have been good. Storehouse, will that go in there? No. Okay, well that's fine. What we'll do is we'll make a little residual road that kind of comes up here. I didn't mean to curve it, so we'll take that out. Residual road will go into here. Like that. Does now have a slight curve on it, but that's okay. And then, can I now put my granary on that side of it? Yes, I can. Right, we'll put the granary there. And then the storehouse is going to kind of go out the back. Or we'll put the storehouse there. So the granary's got a little small space there. I've just paid my tax, but the granary and the storehouse will get done. These two are paused for the time being. And our next step then, once these supplies have been moved into the granary, is to start building our first houses, which will eventually... Ooh, we need fuel, actually. Forgot about that. So we'll get a small woodcutter's lodge across the way from our logging camp. Once that's been built, I'll just boost the priority to the highest, so we get that done as quickly as possible. We have managed to make it through the winter, though, so nobody's died, nobody's left. But my approval rating is not great. We are going to have a quick look over... Oh, our tithe has been given away, which is great. And over here in Zweiau, people are starting to move in. People are relatively happy. We do have a church now. And yeah, we just need to get people to be happier. We do need to boost our burgage plots, so if we can upgrade any of them yet, which I'll be surprised if we can, because we don't have... We've got a storehouse, we've got a granary, farmhouses, firewood stalls... Burgage plots there, saw pit, logging camp, woodcutter's lodge. Oh, that's right. I need clothing in here, don't I? So we're going to continue on at Waldbrand for now, but I will be coming back to Zweiau to try and sort out that issue because people are unhappy at a lack of clothing mainly. Granary's done. Woodcutter's Lodge is done. We're going to get someone to work in that, and then we are going to change the work area again, and they're going to be able to cut down all of the trees in this space here. So that shouldn't interfere with the logging camp too much, and we have now hopefully got enough wood in, yep we do, to start building some houses. So I'm going to go along this area first, and then we're just going to have it come out to here, and then come across here. There, that's good. And we'll just decrease the size of these so we can get 2 families moving in to each one. That one isn't going to let me do it at all. So I'll take, right, I've got 2 there that can't increase in the amount of families that are living there. I've just had a thought. Oh, I'm not unlocking blacksmithing, so it doesn't matter. Right here, can these decrease? And now we can get more families in each one. Now, this road may now need to move. We'll see. Yeah, it's just one house with an extra one. That would be funny. We'll get rid of that road and we'll just put it back in. Right, so housing. Get a road. And we'll have it kind of curve around. In fact, it doesn't need to curve now. I was only doing that so the market looked decent. So what we can do is we can just come in here with another row of houses that come back here. Put that in and then decrease the size. What a lovely row of houses. There we go. Right, we are now starting to build a bit of a grid, which obviously is a big no-no according to some people who play this game. But, you know... That kind of idea of a grid-based system has been around for centuries. So I want to build a nice big built-up town here, which will probably end up moving these things and kind of making a nice little roadway around the back of the trading post and the tavern to build more houses. We've got a nice centralized marketplace. We can run some houses all the way along here. The hitching post will end up getting moved. That shrine is going to get demolished. That was actually just left there from... the previous occupants. Do I have a well in Zweiau? I don't know. Things are going well though. We've got the logging camp, the hitching post is there, hunting camp is going, and food is starting to come in pretty nicely over here. For some reason, it's it's done that thing again. Right, Waldbrand, please. There we go. Right, food. Plenty of meat, plenty of bread. What we could do with, what have we got in our marketplace? We've got a food stall here. We don't actually need berries yet, but I will definitely, once we've built these houses, probably look to... Actually, we better get a berry deposit because at this rate, we definitely need one. So I'll build a forager's hut there. We'll increase the priority to that highest level, and then we'll come into Zweiau. Right, Zweiau. what are the problems here at the moment? Now, we have a marketplace and we've got a well. So I definitely think it's clothing. Yeah, clothing is the problem right now. We don't actually have a hunting shack, or do we? I don't think we do. We've got a forager's hut that is bringing in berries. So my plan is, hopefully, if this works, I would like to bring in a trading post, a livestock, not a livestock trading post, where is it? Not the manor, not the settlers camp. The trading post we have, I can't remember what it's called. It's logistics, there it is. It's the pack station. So this will allow us to send and receive goods between this and another region in our command. And we can bring mules in to transport up to 20 goods per trip. So our pack station in Zweiau, we then need to offer something to another settlement and exchange it for something from the settlement that we currently have. So right now, I'm going to build a pack station here. We do need a donkey, but hopefully once we build the pack station, we should free up a stable space that allows me to actually just buy a donkey. So over here, we're going to put a pack station in Eichenhau. We're going to highest priority that, and then highest priority this. And then what I want to try and do is I want to send hides or some sort of clothing from Eichenhau to Zweiau in exchange for something. I don't know what yet. Maybe vegetables. Or maybe firewood. But we'll see. We'll see what the value is. And hopefully we'll get this pack station up and running nice and quick. It shouldn't take us long. It just needs one unit of timber. That looks like it's been delivered now, even though it's not appearing. People were gathering there and then they kind of just left, which isn't great. Got a couple of empty work areas. I'm not going to deal with Eichenhau too much at the moment because currently you can see the happiness rating is 100. Right, we do have stable space here, so I'm going to put someone in here. We're then going to buy our mule. Then I'm going to have a barter partner set up in Zweiau. We are going to send Zweiau leather. We are going to receive... Whoa, what can we receive from them? I guess for now we'll receive firewood. So I don't really know. Right, okay, so the barter value is 6, so we'll get 6 firewood for every single piece of leather that we send. What about vegetables? It's 3, so we'll get 1 leather for every vegetable will be sent there. Then over here, our pack station has now been built. We don't have enough regional wealth, so what we'll do is we'll set up a barter with Eichenhau. We're going to send them vegetables, and we're going to receive leather. So here it says yeah, okay. I don't know how that's going to work, but we don't have enough regional wealth for a mule, so we're going to need to get to our trading post and we're going to export something. Let's export some firewood. I think that should bring us in a fair bit. We're importing leather here, but we only want to import it from... Yeah, okay, that works. Do we have leather? We don't apparently have leather. Interesting. Right, okay. We can export something, though. We can export firewood to get a little bit of regional wealth in. I'm going to keep my surplus at 100. We're a relatively small settlement, so it should be okay. I will allow foreign trade for my export of firewood. That should bring in a fair bit of money. I have managed to get some leather in. And we've traded... Maybe that's come from Eichenhau. We're now getting leather, which is good. Because I don't think I have a tanner yet, do I? Woodcutter, saw pit, logging camp, trading post, large storehouse, granary. Yeah, we don't. So that must have come from Eichenau, which tells me that something is working in terms of the pack station. I've never really played around with them before, so it's quite interesting to see that happening. Right, let's just have a quick look at the pack station. It would be great to see if there was like a historical... There we go, we've got a mule here who's waiting. Right, we're going to keep a hold of that for now. I do desperately need regional wealth here though, so let's get someone working in the trading post. That's one thing I forgot to do. People are moving in though, so the happiness is kind of looking much better. We should start seeing some population growth. We've got 22 living spaces, so as long as we start getting in some clothing at the marketplace. What have we got here? Firewood, firewood, and food. The pack station doesn't actually set up a... Oh, we can now buy a mule. And then we can start sending stuff. Now, vegetables is a little bit low, actually. I don't want to send vegetables anymore. I want to send firewood. And I'll head back over to Eichenau and just make sure that it's done. Waldbrand's settlement level has now increased. We're going to swap this to firewood. And then we just need to make sure that Zweiau is producing enough firewood. Once the farms are all set up, though, and I've got a decent population, I'll be able to exchange grain or something like that. And that'll make life a lot easier. It's just at this moment in time, I don't have the ability to do that. We do have leather in there now, so if I can get another person working in there and another, let's just fill up that storehouse, and then eventually we should get a clothing shop in. And a trade has definitely been made because my leather supply has gone up and my firewood supply seems to have gone down. So that's really good. That's exactly what we want. We're going to change the work area of the woodcutter's lodge so that it goes over to this space here. And then we're going to head back over to Waldbrand to spend my point on trapping. Now we'll get a nice passive income of meat all of the time. Obviously, people won't move in here yet because we need to sort out the homelessness issue. Happily, that's now been done, so people should no longer be cold and homeless. We've got fuel coming in, and we've got a decent supply of food starting to build with the meat. Currently, we've got firewood and food stalls in the marketplace, but that should increase soon enough. We also have 150 regional wealth there to spend. And here again, regional wealth is continuing to increase. We have a clothing stall now, so people are getting happier. And it looks like we can now start filling those houses. We've got a lot of people coming in now. Zweiau is running out of food, though, so we do need to sort that out. What about the berries? Are they actually... Ooh, there's no one working in the forager hut. Let's get that done quickly. And maybe we should build a temporary hunting shack. We've given away some tithe over here in Eichenau. Not a great deal of food though, but we can actually make a new claim. So I think just to scupper the enemy lord, we're going to come over here and we're going to probably claim Nusslohe. So that's going to happen. We're going to press a claim towards that, and I think we'll probably finish over. We'll finish off there. We're going to get all of my army again, rally them. We can rally right on the edge there. So we'll take everybody over to this area here. Where is the battle going to take place? It's going to take place in that field there. There's 89 days remaining, but my army is happily on its way. While that's happening, we're just going to come back over to here. We should have like 11 spaces eventually, and then that should increase to 22 once I expand those living spaces. We've got plenty of wood, I believe, so we can actually do the expansions now. I mean, obviously, just on the houses that are available to, the ones that have been completed. We've got a hungry family somewhere. I think it might be in Zweiau. No, it's just my army. Right, okay. The enemy lord is here. He seems to want to push onto me, though. Oh, he's not giving me a lot of time to organise my units here. So we'll have our footmen take up a defensive position there. This lot will go behind, and then our archers will set on shoot at will. These archers will also shoot at will, and our spearmen will just about make it. I don't know what this lot are doing. His retinue is coming on pretty strong. Thankfully, though, we're going to loose some arrows into them. It looks like they're going to try and push right through. We're going to have that lot push forward then. That might have been a mistake on their part. Let's push in again with the spearmen just before they have a chance to get my archers. Excellent, that worked pretty well. Then I'll have our pole-arm militia push in. We've got archer fire coming from somewhere. Oh, it's right over there. Pretty evenly matched so far. I think I have some more spear militia coming in from somewhere. Right, we can have them charge the archers that are flanking us right now. He does have some brigands in the trees there. I think we might be winning. We might be making some ground here. Certainly doing some damage to his retinue. Yeah, his retinue is leaving us. So our swordsman can double back now and charge into that lot. And meanwhile, our polearm will hunt down these brigands here. They've sent me a letter. Right back. Again, sorry, not going to happen. This land will be mine. Now, it looks like those archers are running around. So again, I'm going to have this lot come in. These archers can take some shots at them. The brigands are right there. So luckily, our polearm managed to get into them. This isn't going to take long. Especially now that the spearmen have arrived. Oh, lovely charge. And off they go. They're retreating. And again, his archers seem to have run away. So I'm just going to have everybody kind of stack. And we'll wait for those archers to come back. Waldbrand is now running out of food, but right now I have a battle to contend with. His archers are there. Let's push forward. They're in the trees here somewhere. Can't really see them though. And that's it. Victory, and we win. Amazing. Right, again, we'll take our army all the way back to Eichenau where it all began. So our enemy lord is, you know, he's not having a good time. But neither are some of my settlers. I think that's a problem for next week. So we'll call it there. I hope you've enjoyed this week's Manor Lords. I had a lot of fun. We've got another patch of land off the enemy lord, and we will definitely be having him on the ropes next episode. So we'll probably try and take that final bit of land, well, the final 2 bits of land off him next week, and we'll see how that goes. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time for another episode of Manor Lords.